Hey, sports bettors, if you're just getting started in the sports betting world, or maybe even betting for quite some time but never had profits, consistent profits, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to tell you today about positive EV, positive expected value, sort of some terminology you hear over and over again in the sports betting world. And so we're going to go through sort of a definition, how it applies to you as a sports bettor, why you need to be using it on a daily basis, and also some of the tools that you can use to become more effective and a highly profitable, highly consistent sports bettor. Let's get started. So again, thanks for stopping by the channel. My name is Boyd. I do one-on-one coaching, one-on-one consulting, and instruction to help the sports bettors that are struggling, maybe just getting started, help them with the concepts, help them with the tools, help them with a custom roadmap to profit. Now, one of the things that we do to help identify where you're at in the assessment stage is take that sports betting quiz. There's a link down below. It's free. It's easy. It takes like 2 minutes, and you're going to get your rank and your score sent to you immediately to really help you identify your strengths and your weaknesses and where we can launch and start your sports betting endeavors as far as being more profitable, more consistent, and really help your education to understand what the sharps are doing, what the pros are doing, and you can incorporate that for yourself. So highly recommend take that quiz. And again, if you have any times you want to set up as a free consult, let me know as well. All right, so here we go with positive EV, positive expected value. Let's talk about what that is. You hear and see the age-old stories about, 50-50 coin toss, right? So if you have a heads and a tails and you're flipping it, it's a 50% odds or probability on both sides. And really what this is all about in sports betting is implied probability and odds. Now, implied probability is sort of the percentage of times that that team would win or that team would cover, or maybe the over or the under would hit, whatever the betting market is. It's going to give you odds, which is essentially the price. And so a price at minus 110, which means you'd have to wager $11 to win 10 or $110 to win 100. Of course, that's sort of the 50-50 option in order to include the juice or the vigorish for the sports books to make money. All right, so back to the coin scenario. So again, you have heads, you have tails. There's a 50-50 opportunity on both sides for that to hit. We're not including any vigorish or juice, so to speak. If you flip that coin 1,000 times, you'd expect it to hit around 50% on either side, on both sides. And so certainly with a smaller sample, it wouldn't be uncommon to see the coin flip heads 6 times in a row, or have a 70% mark on tails over the course of, say, 30 flips. But imagine if that coin was weighted, and if they'd say that it was weighted a little bit heavier on the tail side, you'd have an edge, right? That would be an edge you could use to win more of those tails bets on that particular coin. So back to that coin scenario again, if tails was weighted heavier on that one side, you'd expect more positive results, more tails coming up because that edge, that weighted edge. Back to the sports betting part. If you have wagers that are priced at minus 110, minus 115, but the probability of that wager coming in is a lot better, it may be 70-75% of a probability, and therefore you're getting that at a good value. That's the edge. That's the positive expected value. The flip side of that is what you do not want to have is a wager. Well, let's say it's minus 120, so you in theory have the favorite, and in reality it was a 30% difference, and so you're way off, and it's a negative EV, it's a negative edge. So you're trying to put yourself in a position where you're always buying low, getting a lot more value, paying less for what you get back in return as far as that wager. So part of the principles of positive EV wagering come into the law of large numbers. You can tell the casino is going to lose a handful of times, they're going to win a handful of times, and over the course of time, and the law of large numbers with many wagers, this is a volume game. This is a volume situation. So you're really going to have to do this over the course of a volume scenario to where you're making multiple bets on multiple times and multiple days. It's not something you're going to put one bet in and call it a day. As you can tell, that coin toss could come up either side, especially with some small edges. Let's talk about how you use the tools, how you apply this, and how you can actually incorporate it for yourself to start profiting. Now, here's a perfect example of one of the tools I use. This is OddsView. OddsView is a data-driven markets insightful tool. It helps me find positive EV bets. And over here on the left-hand side is a 3.2% edge on this Trendon Watford points, rebounds, assist bet over 21.5 at FanDuel. It currently has plus 106 odds at FanDuel, but look at here. Everyone else in the market's going to be substantially higher. The fair odds, this is without juice, is right around 100, even 100. So basically getting this at a good value, and you can see the chart action. You can see some of the price action over here with the various sports books, and so you can tell which direction the market is going. It's a very helpful tool to identify if you got in early and got a good value, or maybe you've missed the boat and are late. So this is a bet that we would go over to FanDuel, place this wager. Again, if you had a bet size of this amount, it's probably based on about a $500 budget. So it's easy to incorporate this to help you identify the value or the number you should use in the Kelly criterion wager. In this quarter Kelly situation, you actually have 1,000. So if you have $1,000 budget, you can just quarter Kelly this at FanDuel at plus 106, and you would do this as many times as possible. So certainly there's going to be other bets with a smaller percent of EV at the current time. But the goal here is to stack up as many of these wagers as you can to get the math going as many times as you possibly can. And these are the tools that help you convert that, to help you find the bet, find the market, find the price, give you the bet size amount based on your risk factor and your tolerance factor, and then get some verifications and some validations with the market over here on the left-hand side with all the different sports books. Again, it's a great tool to use, and again, you're going to have the opportunity to use that. New accounts got set up as a promo for you with a discount. So the first month is going to be 35% off. If you want to hit the link and as you join, use promo code BOYD, B-O-Y-D. It's going to save you 35% off that first month. And again, once you do, let me know. We'll set up a free consultation to go through a lot of the details of how these tools work. Happy to help you with that specifically at OddsView. Now, to further illustrate why positive EV betting is so critically important when you're line shopping and also having a variety of sports books to choose from, it's going to allow you a lot of different prices. The sports books are going to have different prices, and so to have the variety is going to be key in order to identify the best value amongst the market. So in this case, again, let me show you. You have odds person A and odds person B. All right, they both are going to place the same 10 wagers with the same amount. So odds person A here betting $100 on every single bet. Odds person B, $100 every bet. Now they shopped for these, right? They shopped and shopped. They found the value. And odds person A, the first bet here at game one, they're at plus 120, whereas B is at plus 130. You can see on down the line, there's about a 10-cent difference in most of these, 10, 15-cent difference. So plus 100 here for A and plus 125 for B. And they both won and lost the same amount of bets. But interestingly enough, down here at the bottom, you can see this number. Person B came out ahead by about $100 just because of the small differences in price, just because they shopped, got a better edge, got a better value. The profits for person B was higher, even though both of these people won and lost the same games, the same number of games, the same exact scenarios and teams and markets, etc. So it shows you they can take the same amount of money and come out with substantially more just because they shopped, used positive EV betting to get the best price. And this is why it's so important that you can use this and the tools that we coach and teach to show you how to do this, how to give you a profit plan for yourself. Now, the concepts we use for various sports, various markets are something I teach on that one-on-one basis. And so really I can help you identify which odds-making sports books we're going to use, say in the NBA versus MLB, NFL, college basketball, college football, whatever the case. And that way you're going to know basically the smart kids. You're going to know, the odds-making leaders as we find other opportunities with outlier pricing at different sports books. That's how we're going to attack it. So having the tools, having the strategy is just one way this can really be profitable for you and really save you time and save you money, because you're going to have a lot better profitability consistently over the course of time using these systems, using these methods, using these tools that you just simply can't do on your own. And again, if you're losing money and you're struggling, this is part of the reason why. So I hope this is very helpful for you to understand this concept. Happy to help you again, get you up and running. So there you go. There's sort of my definition of positive expected value. Also showed you why it's so critical, why it's so important, and also showed you how to use this to really help yourself bet more consistently. So again, if you got some good value, some good education out of this Bet School video, make sure you give us a like and a share. Join the channel. We've got a lot more betting content coming out to help sports bettors, especially the beginners and the strugglers, kind of find their way. And again, set that appointment up. Give me a time you want to meet to do a quick call, to do an assessment. Take that quiz, take that sports betting quiz. And again, if you have any needs for sports betting tools, let me know as well. There's different types of tools out there on the market, and I think it can really help you get directed to the right one that best fits your needs, that's going to help you with the markets that you're in. So again, thanks for stopping by. Let's go make some mathematical money.